Hello students, today I am going to start the new unit number 4, that is electromagnetic induction and alternating current, but the chapter number 6 is electromagnetic induction. Now in your syllabus is electromagnetic induction. What is the electromagnetic induction? So, to understand that topic, first of all we will discuss here about the experiment of the Oersted, about that when the current is flowing in a conductor, then magnetic field is produced around it. This is the effect of the current, and that effect can also be discussed by the scientist Michael Faraday. And according to the Michael Faraday, when the current is flowing in a coil, then a magnetic flux is linked in the coil, and then an induced current or EMF is produced in the coil. So if the coil is open, then EMF is induced at the ends of the coil, and the circuit is closed, then induced current is flowing in the circuit. So according to the definition of electromagnetic induction, that is the phenomenon of production of induced current or EMF due to the change in the magnetic flux linked in the coil is known as electromagnetic induction. So one term is used here, that is magnetic flux. Now in the new syllabus, the magnetic flux is deleted. But without that magnetic flux, we can't discuss the next topic that is in your syllabus. So we will discuss in brief what is magnetic flux. So magnetic flux means these are the number of magnetic lines passing through normally to the surface. Or in other words, we can say that the product of the normal component, that is Bn represented here the normal component of the magnetic field. So product of the normal component of the magnetic field to the surface and the surface area is known as magnetic flux, and it is denoted by phi, or maybe written as phi b. So look in the diagram number 1. In this diagram, this ds is a surface element component, and this component is parallel to the magnetic field in this surface. So it is a delta is a surface. So surface is like this. The line is drawn here. Suppose this is the duster. So it is not a surface. This black part is not a surface. The surface is this. The thickness of this that sheet, that is the surface. So this surface and the magnetic field lines, these are parallel to each other. So in that condition, the angle in between them, theta equal to 0 degree. So we will get the formula phi b equal to Bn into ds. In the second situation, when this surface makes some angle theta with the direction of the magnetic field, so this ds surface, that is represented by the normal drawn on the plane of the surface. This is the ds component written here, n unit vector into ds, that is the normal component of the ds, makes an angle theta with the direction of the magnetic field b. So we have to write the component of the magnetic field in the direction of the normal component of the surface, that is b cos theta, and the next rectangular component will be b sin theta. So we have to use here the normal component of b, that is b cos theta. So the product of the b cos theta to the delta s, that is equal to the magnetic flux. So phi b equal to b cos theta into delta s, that is b ds cos theta. So from the unit point of view, it is the product of the magnetic field and the surface. The unit of the magnetic field is Tesla, unit of the surface is meter square, surface area meter square. So the unit is Tesla meter square, and it is also called Weber, represented by Wb. So Weber is the unit of the magnetic flux. Now in the third situation, when the magnetic line, so force parallel to the perpendicular to the surface area, then it is a situation like this. I have already told you, it is not a surface. The surface is this. It means this is the surface area. So when we draw the magnetic line, so for like this, Suppose pen represents the direction of magnetic field and this is the surface. So these are parallel to each other in that condition. But this surface, because drawn here the magnetic lines flow like this, so the surface area is represented by like this. So this is the thickness of the sheet. So this and this makes an angle 90 degree. So in that condition, the theta will be equal to 90 degree. So when we put cos theta equal to 90, we will get 0. So in that condition, the magnetic flux phi b will be equal to 0. In that condition, the magnetic flux phi will be maximum, that is equal to b into delta s. And the second situation, when it makes some angle theta, so phi b will be equal to b ds cos theta. So these are three formulas and of the magnetic flux. So we have to use that term magnetic flux in the next laws, that is in your syllabus, Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So there are the two laws I have consolidated here in the two law number 1. So according to the law number 1 means Faraday's first law of electromagnetic induction. So whenever magnetic flux linked in the coil changes, then induced current or EMF is produced in the coil. It is the law number 1. And law number 2 is the magnitude of the EMF, that is induced EMF produced in the coil, is always directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. That is here d phi by dt. This is the rate of change of magnetic flux. So E, it is small e, is a induced EMF proportional to d phi by dt, where d phi can be written as phi 2 minus phi 1. Phi 1 is the initial magnetic flux, phi 2 is the final magnetic flux in a time dt. So d phi will be equal to phi 2 minus phi 1. So when we write here, remove some proportionality sign, so we can write remove here by the proportionality constant k. So E can be written as E equal to minus k d phi upon dt. Minus k is a constant of proportionality. Minus sign indicates here the direction of the current which is produced in the coil. It always opposes the change from which it is produced. So therefore we have to put here the negative sign. But in magnitude it is positive. The sign, negative sign, indicates only the direction. So the value of k is equal to 1. So we can write the formula E equal to d phi over dt with negative sign. This is the formula of the induced EMF produced in the coil. But if n be the number of turns in the coil, so we have to multiply it here by n. So we can write E equal to minus n d phi by dt. So it is the formula of the induced EMF produced in the coil due to the magnetic flux linked in the coil. But when there is a change in the magnetic flux, up to that moment only induced EMF or the current is produced. So due to the change in the magnetic flux, the current produced in the current flowing in the coil, that is represented by the induced current, and the EMF produced in the coil will be named as induced EMF. Now these are the Faraday's law, and next is important rule, that is Lenz rule or Lenz law. This is the Lenz law. So it is stated by the scientist Lenz, and according to that it is stated that the induced current in the circuit or in the coil always flows in such a direction that opposes the change or cause from that produces it. This is the Lenz law. So induced current or induced EMF is produced in the circuit or in the coil in such a particular direction that always oppose the cause or that factor or that change from which it is produced. That is the explanation of the Lenz law. And we know that we will discuss here Lenz law or Lenz rule. It is in accordance of the law of conservation of energy. So how it obeys the laws of conservation of energy? We have to take in one example. So there is a coil here, and the coil is connected by the bulb B, and taken a magnet NS, and N pole is towards the one end of the coil. So when this magnet is moving, when the magnet is moving towards the coil, so due to the magnetic field produced by this magnet, that is linked, due to that magnetic flux is linked in the coil, and because magnet is moving continuously, so there is a change in the magnetic flux in the coil, and due to the change in the magnetic flux linked in the coil, an induced current is flowing in the coil in the clockwise direction. So when the current is flowing in the clockwise direction, so the end which is towards the N pole of the magnet, so N pole is produced here in the copper coil, and the other end behaves as a S pole. So this N pole of the magnet repelled by the N pole of the coil, so when they are repelled to each other, so a opposing force is acting in between them. Now the magnet is moved towards the coil, so we have to do some work here. So we have to do the work against the force acting between the N poles, that is the repulsive force. So when work is done against this force, so magnetic flux linked continuously in the coil, and due to the change in the magnetic flux linked in the coil, a current is flowing continuously in the coil, and the bulb will glow. So we can see here, when there is a change, and change is the movement of the magnet, the current is flowing due to that change. So this is in the Lenz rule. The induced current is always flows and opposed to the change or cause. So it opposes means the force of repulsion is acting here. This is the change or cause. The change is magnetic flux. The cause, the factor is the magnet is repelled by the N pole, which is generated towards the N pole of the magnet, and they are repelled to each other. So due to that, we have to do some work against this force. So this work energy is converted in the form of electrical energy. So it is a conversion of the work energy into electrical energy. It means Lenz rule, in the Lenz rule, there is a change in cause by which the current is flowing. So when we see in the activity, work energy, it is used here to push the magnet against the force of repulsion, and we can see the appearance of the work energy in terms of the electrical energy. So we can say that the work energy is converted into electrical energy against that due to that opposing force. It means we can say that Lenz law is in accordance of the laws of conservation of energy. So this is the first topic, and in this topic discuss here what is electromagnetic induction, what is magnetic flux, laws, Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, and the Lenz rule with one activity. And another part we'll see in the next video. Thank you.